Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever been talking to a potential spouse who seemed perfect on paper? Great job, praised 5 times a day, comes from a good family, but something in your gut, something is off. I don't know about this one, you think to yourself. Can't quite put your finger on it, but there's something. Here's the problem that nobody tells you. That gut feeling, it's picking up on something that most people miss until it's too late. And it's not about his bank account, about how many times he's read the Quran cover to cover. It's about whether or not he has a growth mindset. Because if he doesn't have it, I'm going to be real with you. You're signing up for years of frustration, stagnation, and feeling like you're married to a man who never quite evolves. And guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can stay with me to find out. But women know. If you know, you know, growth mindset. Because if he has a fixed mindset, you feel like you're the only one. Why am I the only one trying? Why does every conversation feel like pulling teeth? Why can't we just grow together? I've seen it happen so many times. Smart, capable Muslim women marrying men who blame everyone else, refuse feedback, and think everything is personal. Guys, if you're watching this, I encourage you to figure out if we have a growth mindset. You could both use this. Obviously, I'm more so talking to women, but I just want you to know this is something you don't skip. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot a growth mindset before you say I do. Now, in the next couple minutes, I'll be breaking down 3 powerful ways to identify that the person across from you has emotional maturity and has that growth mindset, not just a title holder. And one of these ways is so simple, you could test it in your very first conversation. It'll be so easy. It'll get you past that surface level compatibility into things way deeper in way faster time. The red flag response that tells you he'll blame you for every problem in your marriage, and the green flag answer that shows you he's a man who'll grow with you, not against you. Trust me, what I'm about to share could save you years of heartache. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Mindful Muslimah Speaks podcast, a safe space to learn and grow into the best version of yourself that you're always meant to be. I'm your host, Mindful Muslimah, a mom of 5, big sister to the community, and a licensed educator with 25 plus years and supporting tens of thousands of Muslim women worldwide. Now, I'm excited to share a ton of solutions to your problems on love, relationships, life balance, reconnecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, getting back on track, and more. So grab a cup of coffee and close out those tabs. These next 20 to 30 minutes are all about you. Let's get started. All right, let's dive into it. Now, before we do, I need you to understand that a growth mindset isn't about being perfect. It's not about having him have 0 flaws and never make mistakes. A growth mindset for anyone is about how they respond to life challenges, how they handle criticism, how they view their own potential to change and improve. Because for the ladies, the man you want to marry, he won't be the same man in 5, 10, or 20 years if he has a growth mindset. And honestly, neither should you. So the question is, will he grow with you or will he stay stuck? Will you evolve? Let's find out. Way number 1. So this is an important test. Listen to how he talks about his failures. That is key. This is the game changer question. You can use it for your very first real conversation. Ask him something like, can you tell me about a time when something didn't go your way or something is planned? Maybe a job you didn't get, a project that failed, or a goal that you didn't reach. Now, here's where you need to pay close attention. What are you listening for? Here are some red flags. The victim mindset. If he sounds like my boss didn't like me for this reason or that reason, the system's rigged against people like me. My family held me back. I deserve that promotion, but they gave it to someone else less qualified. Like if he is just doing a pity party, run. This is a man who has a fixed mindset. Everything is someone else's fault. And guess what? I used to be married to someone like that. That was my first marriage. I didn't know any better. I knew any of these things. I got thrown into a marriage young, didn't know anything. I noticed these things, but didn't think how serious they are. Alhamdulillah, learned all the right things to do, sat under scholars. Now I'm happily married. But the point is, I can attest to this one because I lived it. So guess what? When things go wrong in your marriage, if that's the type of person they are, and they will because that's life, you're going to become the scapegoat. You're going to be the one who he blames when he's stressed, when money's tight, when the kids are struggling. It will always be your fault, never his responsibility. Now, a green flag to look for on the positive side, if he has a growth mindset, if his answer sounds more like this: yeah, I applied for this position, I didn't get it, but looking back, I realized I wasn't as prepared as I thought. So I took some course and I worked on my interview skills and blah, blah, blah. right? Or I had a business idea and it completely flopped, but I learned so much about planning and managing finances, and now you get me. I used to struggle with anger, honestly, but I started working with a mentor and I was reading about emotional regulation. This is a stretch because not many guys say this, but they might. I'm still learning, but I'm way better than I was. That's your guy. Any one of those. His own mistakes. He reflects. He takes action. He improves. He doesn't blame the world. He looks inward to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even, and he asks, what can I do differently, Ya Rab? What can I do different? That's the man you want to sit down with. Let's figure this out together. You guys will be together in the marriage no matter what, hashing it all out. Way number two, see how he responds to constructive feedback. This one's a bit more subtle, but it's very, very powerful. At some point in your conversations, maybe you're talking about goals, family dynamics, or just planning meeting, gently offer him a suggestion or a different perspective intentionally. It doesn't have to be confrontational. Could be something like, have you thought about it this way? I wonder if this approach might work better. Hmm, that's interesting. I see it a bit differently because blah, blah, blah. Then sit back and watch. How does he react? So a red flag would be defensive. He gets super defensive. No, you don't understand. Or maybe dismissive. That won't work. And he moves on, not even considering it. Or maybe he's condescending. Well, actually, followed by him explaining why you're wrong. Or maybe see all these different kinds of ways he can respond? All red flags. Silent, withdrawn. That's a man with a fixed mindset and a fragile ego. He can't handle being challenged. And women, we have to fairly do the same, right? Because sometimes men can simply see feedback as a threat to his intelligence or his masculinity, even if you don't mean it at all. And the thing is, if he can't take gentle input from you now during the courting phase, what are you going to do when you're married, right? When you're past his best behavior? Imagine that marriage. Every disagreement will feel like a battle. Every suggestion will be seen as an attack. You're going to spend your whole marriage walking on eggshells, afraid to speak your mind. Not the best marriage. Green flags. Let's talk about them. If he pauses after you say that and actually considers what you said and says maybe even a follow-up question, that's interesting. Why do you think that? Or maybe he acknowledges your point and agrees, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Let me think about that. Or maybe he'll come back later and say, you know what? You're right about the thing. I was thinking about it. That's a growth mindset energy. He's not threatened by your intelligence or perspective. He values your input. He's teachable. Even Rasulullah SAW, he grew. Even his wives, they grew. No one stood stagnant. Everyone grew together fi sabilillah. We're humans. We're supposed to evolve. This is growth for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Improving yourself day by day. No one is supposed to stay the same. And when people are given basic suggestions, it shouldn't be that hard to accept. It really shouldn't. Because if you can get these answers, this is the man who will actually listen to you when you tell him something hurts you. He'll adjust his behavior and you'll say, I didn't realize I was doing that. Thanks for letting me know. Or, oh, I get it. Sorry, I didn't even know. That's the man that will stay with you and actually treat you well. Let's talk about way number three. Ask him what he's currently working on to improve himself. Not everyone is working on things, so be prepared. The question is gold, though, because it reveals everything. So what you can say is something casual like this. Oh, what's something you're working on right now to improve? Like personality, spirituality, or, oh, is there anything you've been trying to get better lately? Now, listen carefully to his answer. Now, before I tell you about his answer, I want to talk for a second about asking questions. For the people who say, oh, that's so interviewee. Why you do all like this is a sign of immaturity. So if you're in the comments right now doing that, congratulations. You've just revealed your lack of maturity. Because at the end of the day, we are grown-ups. And long gone are the days where we just go, oh, her, him, married together, off you go. We saw how that went with our parents, our old aunties, our cousins, okay? So if you don't like the way those average marriages go, where nobody actually checks if they make sense with each other, then, you like that, go ahead and have one of those. This is the majority of people are not, though, because here's the deal. Back in the day, that was sufficient. Now people have no patience. I'm going to be frank. They don't have any grit. Nobody stays married to somebody who irritates them. I wish we weren't like that, okay? So I'm trying to help you out where you can pick these out before so you don't get stuck in those if that's you. You don't want to get stuck with somebody you don't like, which, who would? But like that means so much to you, which I respect, then yeah, definitely follow these. Here's some red flags. The, oh, I'm fine guy. The guy who's like, I'm good, good where I am when you ask him how he's improving. Ah, I don't really think about that stuff. I'm really busy with work. Or, I mean, I pray, I fast, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I do the basics. I'm Muslim, it's hard these days. Or maybe he's silent and has a vague answer. Fixed mindset all the way. This is the man who thinks he's already arrived, he's good enough, not really interested in self improvement, or it's not even a priority. Let's just say that. He is coasting as if he's coasting now, before marriage, before kids. When you have the most time before all that great responsibility, what is he going to be like in 2 years, 5 or 10? So while you're listening to podcasts like this, or reading books, or going to therapy, or growing in your deen, he'll be the same exact person or worse, and you feel like you're dragging dead weight. Ha! Green flags. These are some good things to listen for. Oh, actually, I've been working on my patience. I realized, like back in the day when I was like 18, I used to get frustrated. So I've been doing blah, blah, blah. Or I'm reading on communication because I realized like my parents didn't have the best communication. So there was this book by Mikhail blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to understand and get closer to Allah. It's been rough lately. So I've been doing more tahajjud. I'm not consistent all the time, but doing my best. I'm way better than I was a month ago. Or maybe he's like, I'm just learning about my finances. I took this course on budgeting because I know like running a household isn't easy. So you love this, right? That's your guy. His self awareness, his intention, even if he's not perfect, totally fine. He's not waiting for someone to change him, he's changing himself. And that mindset will carry into every area of your marriage. And when conflict comes, he'll work on his communication. When parenting gets hard, he'll read or ask you your opinion. When his deen feels weak, he'll seek knowledge for himself and recommit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the partner you want by your side. Does that make sense? So let me tell you about a sister I worked with and exactly what happened with her in relation to this, because it is key. So she had come to me frustrated. She'd been talking to this guy for months. Not going to say much about that, but let's say on paper, he was perfect. Good job, practicing Muslim, respectful family. But she kept feeling stuck with him because when I asked her to describe her conversations, she's like, well, he's nice, but every time I share a different opinion or suggest something, he either brushes it off or gets really quiet. Mind you, he's not being aggressive, right? So you're like, am I overthinking this? And when I ask him what he's working on or improving, he's like, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I'm good. And, I'm working real hard these days. So I told her those flags aren't red or green, but they're kind of yellow. You just need to pay attention because if this persists, they're definitely red. So give the benefit of the doubt, right? So fast forward 6 months, she marries him. I didn't suggest, but she marries him. And she comes to me and she goes, I really wish I would have listened to you because I'm not going to lie. I ignored some of those flags. They did turn red and I ignored them. And I feel like I'm the only one who's willing to change. He never admits he's wrong, never works on himself. I feel like I'm married to a wall, or better myself, like not even having a partner. And that was her story. I want you to know the truth is, ladies, if brothers listening, you deserve someone who's going to grow with you, not someone who's going to hold you back or stay stagnant while you evolve. This life is only so short. It's not about perfection. It's not about me being great and then being, better than great and then me. It's about moving forward to be a better Muslim, a better man, a better woman, a better human. Or you have to look at that partner and go, do they already think they've arrived? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed marriage as a partnership. We're a garment for one another. You and you're a garment for them, right? In the Quran, a garment protects, it covers, it beautifies, but it also kind of grows with you, right? You don't wear the same size your whole life. I hope not, right? Your spouse should do the same. So when you're sitting across from a potential spouse, don't just ask about their salary or their family or how many times. I mean, if you've worked with me, you know that that's rubbish, right? Ask mindset questions. Ask about failures, feedback, response, self improvement. When you get deeper into these things, because a man with a growth mindset, he's the one who will honor your intelligence, value your input, walk beside you, both, strive to be better together. That is the marriage you want. I've done this for a really long time. As much as I'm giving you a lot of information, you might be like, well, what do I ask first? What do I do? I've had this guy and I've asked him this and this was an answer he's given me before. What's your opinion on that? So yeah, let's talk. But what I want you to think about is don't just stay where you are because all the questions looming in your head, all the lack of clarity you have doesn't change unless you do anything about it, right? So When I was stuck, I didn't get better until I learned a different way. And I've said this a million times in the podcast because I'm hoping it gets into our brains. That quote from Einstein, love it, right? Madness is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Is that what you're doing? You're just going to keep popping on those apps, showing up at those whatever, those marriage events, and just hope it all pans out. That's ridiculous. And if you're sitting at home doing nothing, not really taking action, just hoping you get introduced to somebody or whatever, that's also ridiculous because I've explained to you in a previous podcast or more and more and more that that's not how it works these days. It is harder than ever if you don't know what you're doing. If this episode resonated with you in any kind of way and you want to learn the exact questions to ask, how to read body language, how to vet a man's character beyond just the vibes, I want to invite you to check out a link below that I have that I know you will love. And we don't just talk theory, we give you the tools, the scripts, the strategy, the full support because you deserve the clarity and the confidence that will help you get the spouse that you need, that you will grow with for life, inshallah ta'ala. So I'll see you in the next podcast. If you're interested, check out below. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a beautiful plan for you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. Ameen Rabbil Alameen.